左侧是哇，右侧过来
直接找到了艾琳，黄汤 boy 的没有贪这个点，他甚至选就愿意去往后退，然后引诱
这边树这边的话，后手又来了一个引力乱流，直接抬起来 ，Chara 已经被击杀掉 ，Chrome 被摔下来，也是被补掉。
他恐怕是没有太多的办法，大概率不会给到别人激速给到你1号秒杀到风里，有一个火箭弹幕直接一波全部 kill。
Hello everybody and welcome to the Overwatch League, and you're joining us for the second day of the qualification matches for the Summer Showdown that's going to be occurring. And match number 1, of course, is going to be the Shanghai Dragons versus the Hangzhou Spark. My name is Brendan Hook. I'm joined by, as always, Joshua, Sideshow, Wilkinson. Could be an egg, could be Lex Luthor. We make the same jokes every single time, and it don't matter because they're still funny. We know you're all laughing.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried that I'm just going to get bald jokes for the rest of my life. Is this what I've set myself up for now? If I just don't have any hair, just every time I come on screen, it's just lol egg, like people spamming the egg emoji.
Just the egg emoji.
Yeah.
Possibly,
it's brutal.
Possibly.
It's brutal out here.
Let's take a look at the standings so far. These are the qualification matches, of course. Remember, for the Summer Showdown is going to be taking place next week. And the teams are currently playing the final few matches to decide their seeding, their placement in the tournament. As you can see, the Shanghai Dragons leading well above a lot of other teams in the standings in terms of their 3-0 and their 6 map differential. Very good indeed.
Yeah, it's a very good performance from them. It's possible that their undefeated streak could end tonight, playing up against the Hangzhou Spark. But the Spark are 1-2 right now, which is a little disappointing for a team that had made such massive upgrades. You know, picking up Architect and then also picking up QOQ as well. Undeniably, 2 massive pickups for the squad. And they come off a loss against the London Spitfire last night, where they looked a little lost with the meta.
Well, let's take a look at the Shanghai roster first, because this is the roster that has, realistically, not really dropped many maps. This is the roster that came out swinging in the Melee Grand Finals. I'm sure you can all remember when the substitutions were made, and the legendary reverse sweep in that best of 5 happened, or the first of 5, I should say. A ridiculous showcase.
Yeah. An absolutely incredible performance there. But just generally, this roster that they're fielding tonight has only lost 1 map ever, as far as I'm aware. And that was just yesterday against the Seoul Dynasty, against a kind of dive team. So I think the meta's opened up a lot now with the lack of hero pools, and it is a little bit in flux, and it's possible to catch the Shanghai Dragons napping at this point in time. They are a little vulnerable, if only they're just barely mortal.
Yeah, and on the other side of that, of course, the Hangzhou Spark, and they are actually going to be making some adjustments here compared to the roster they were running the other day. You'll notice that Godsby is going to be vacant from this roster. Adora is taking his place. A bit of a strange one, because I think a lot of people thought that, you know, Architect coming in was going to be replacing the role that Adora was kind of playing, and that was the case for a short while. But Godsby not going to be playing, at least starting here, and I can kind of understand this. After watching back the London Hangzhou game, he didn't have the greatest showing. He was getting first picked a lot, and you could make some arguments that was because of the compositions that his team were playing, but he wasn't having the best of time.
Yeah, and I think that I would like to make that argument that it was partly because the comps that they were running, but that is still a decent argument to sub him out, because now you can run more divey stuff. Get Gushui on the Winston, get Adora on the Echo, which is a hero that Adora's actually shown some proficiency at. And Architect, get him on that buffed Genji. You're playing Oasis, Dive is pretty strong right now, and you can go kind of toe-to-toe with the Shanghai Dragons in terms of the pieces on your roster. You've got a really stacked roster here. Get the most out of it.
Well, we've seen a lot of the North American teams on their side. I was watching the games earlier today.
Yeah. Playing so much Genji.
Playing a lot of dive. Yeah, a lot of Genji. Of course, remember that right-click buff is in, which makes it a little bit more powerful. And the first map we're going to be heading into, as you said, Josh, is Oasis. And a lot of dive can be played on here. It's a lot of verticality, a lot of areas, particularly the city center as well, because it's so big, so expansive. That you can play the dive composition. So it's going to be cool to see if Hangzhou are going to be adjusting, are going to be changing things up quite radically.
And yesterday, when this Shanghai Dragons roster lost a map to the Seoul Dynasty, and it's strange that you have to measure the failures of the Shanghai Dragons by maps lost rather than matches lost. But a quick reminder here before I go on to my main point that the Hangzhou Spark this year have never taken a map off the Shanghai Dragons. They've played them twice and they've both been 3-0. The Shanghai Dragons, it is hard to overstate how dominant they have been within Asia. They are a very, very difficult team to beat or even take maps off at times. So to go back to my original point, the Seoul Dynasty managed to take a map off the Shanghai Dragons yesterday by playing a lot of dive kind of comps, by trying to play aggressive and push into the Shanghai Dragons and try and disrupt them, though Shanghai were playing a little bit more of the double shield.
I like it a lot. So they've heard us loud and clear. Adora's going to be on the Echo. It's a role that he's not too bad at, and Architect on that Genji that he is known so well for. Shanghai Dragons is going to be running a dive composition of themselves.
Who dives the Echo in midair?
That's a little bit strange. The sticky bombs will connect, but look at this. The Shanghai also running a Zarya to go alongside this dive, but it seems to be working out. Early days yet, though, of course, but they do find the opening pick there onto Adora. Gives Fleder an opportunity to go in. He's got that armor pack, so he's a little bit more tanky. Sticky bombs didn't quite connect, but they have control of the point, and they have a big advantage moving into this fight. The beam comes through, and it is so much damage. Of course, it does extra damage depending on how low the targets are that you're aiming it at. So when they are particularly low, it means that you're going to get a lot of value out of it, like Fleder did just then, picking up 3 kills.
4-man Bionade at the end there for Izayaki just allows the cleanup for the Hangzhou Spark. And I actually like this Zarya. The Zarya comp I was very critical of I think it was 2 weeks ago when the Seoul Dynasty were playing it, because they were playing it with a Reaper and a Tracer. Yeah, but the Zarya here allows your Winston to jump in and never be worried about a Brigitte bash. You can dive the backline and you're never worried about being bashed or slept or anything like that. You just have a window where you hard engage. It's a very aggressive composition.
Shanghai have got ultimates to use now, and the bubble, as you can see, got burst almost immediately. A duplicate was used. We switched the angle, so we got a little bit confused in there for a second, but Fleder is over on the Winston, and now he's got the Primal Rage to see how good his techers are. Going in, swinging away, seeing if he can batter a couple of targets to the rest of his team, and he's got one cornered. Mika will fall. See you later. Now he's back in the Echo form, so he can just lay down those sticky bombs, but that is honestly fantastic ult economy, only utilizing... Okay, they did end up using 3 there, so the Nano Boost got pushed out as well. I thought it was a little bit better, but Shanghai still holding on.
Yeah, it's still a great performance from the Shanghai Dragons. That hack onto QOQ to take him out early on was enormous. And Architect, he has to be finding value on this buffed version of Genji, and he hasn't really so far. Bebe used the Nano Boost in the previous fight too, so this is going to be a dry blade to try and save everything.
An insane Primal Rage by Fearless just removes QOQ from the fight. That's a high impact kill, but now we're going to see the Gravitic, or the ground, I should say. Not quite a Gravitic flux, but there we have it. A nice little sleep, but it's going to get cancelled out as Gushway's got his own Primal Rage. This guy is known as the Primal Blade in some regions because of how good he is on that Winston roll, but he's getting battered into the corner. Unfortunately, not able to do too much, and the Shanghai Dragons are going to take that round number 1 quite simply, it felt like.
Architect uses his blade in overtime once the round has already ended, because he never got a chance to use it any of those other times. Shanghai are so good at being able to put pressure on their opponents. They play so fast. Architect was never in a position to even... I mean, he couldn't use the Nano Boost because Baby was forced to use it to just to scramble to keep them even in the fight. And then he didn't get a chance in that final engagement because he got grabbed before he could even get in position. And now as we head over to the university portion, this is where dive becomes a little more difficult. This stage tends itself towards more rush comps, or maybe even some double shield at times. And so the Shanghai Dragons are going for a bit of a rush comp here. Li Jigon is going to commit to the Lucio, whereas the Hangzhou Spark are going to try and poke out their opponents.
Yeah, interesting from Shanghai actually, going to be rolling out with the McCree. I wonder if they're... Sorry, excuse me.
What? How does Li Jigon get the opening kill on a Mei that has Ice Block available? I mean, how does that even happen? The Lip wasn't in the fight. It wasn't like he took a headshot.
Yeah, very interesting, but I mean, Shanghai have control. I mean, that has really confused me actually as to how that's even happened there. But
go back in the replay viewer, someone, and figure that out. I mean, did Fearless pin him and he just got finished off? I literally do not understand.
That's a confusing one, but QOQ goes down as well, and I think that Ice Wall worked out as a bit of a deterrent there. Came out to try and protect the team, but didn't quite work out. Now Fearless swinging away indoors. Just building up. They haven't quite brought down Mika, but finally Mika will fall. A lot of kills going away as Shanghai here. Lip does go down, so they've lost their McCree, but it's not the end of the world at the end of the day, because Lip will just be able to run back. And Shanghai, again, still in control at this point, so plenty of time for him to run back.
Yeah, loads of time here. Hangzhou are starting to take up to a couple of ultimates, but nothing enormous. Both teams have Amp Matrix. Shanghai can go for the Amp Matrix Fire Strike, but there's no halt available here. And Shanghai just blocking line of sight.
Yeah.
Working the angles.
Okay, Hangzhou Spark going to use their Amp Matrix super early, but that means that Shanghai are now going to use theirs! What an Earth Shatter! Straight into Grenadic Flux. Wow, that's a lot of damage, and that should surely just win this fight out automatically. It's hard to try and turn that one around. Bob is still there, just peppering him away, but does not matter. Lip rolls forward. Potential Rookie of the Year candidate. Got to remind everybody as well. This guy's been playing so well the entire year long.
He really
and the
has.
Shanghai have not really lost control of this entire map so far.
Yeah, there's just a sense of inevitability about this. I'm watching these fights, and it seems just hopeless for the Hangzhou Spark. They can't even get themselves roughly in position.
Wow.
Their tanks are dying constantly.
Oh,
Gushue is
wow.
picked up. It's rough out here. Architect has gone from being on the San Francisco Shock to getting rolled by their equivalent
I mean, Lip
in
just
Asia.
does not miss. He does not miss at all. Hitting shot after shot after shot, and the Hangzhou Spark, I mean, they got the Blizzard to work with, but Adora goes down. A headshot and the body shot follow-up. He's gone for more. Lip is absolutely unstoppable right now. Someone stop him, please! He's getting away with murder in the back lines, and no one touches, Josh. No one touches. The Shanghai Dragons, unstoppable.
I mean, what did we just witness?
I don't know, man.
That's one of the most one-sided maps between two top teams I've ever seen. And it wasn't like Hangzhou even had a chance. Like they were just getting killed before they could even get in position to take the fight. Shanghai have so much confidence, and Hangzhou couldn't even get the smallest thing together. They couldn't get close to the point. It's absurd watching the Shanghai Dragons play, actually. They're just beating up on other really good teams.
They're on another theory. Yeah, they are on another level. There's a theory, though, that when you get new additions in and when you're relearning as a team how to play together, you take a couple of steps back before you move forwards a couple of steps, if that makes sense. Yeah. You're going to look a bit worse when you get these new pieces in. But Shanghai are just making them look like a bit of a contenders team, aren't they? It is a brutal showing. We'll see the Hangzhou Spark. Can they bring it back? Can they even out the series? Well, we're going to find out after the break, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Cheez-It Grooves. Deep flavor, deep crunch. It's a mind crunch.
And by Zip Chair Gaming, the official chair supplier of the Overwatch League.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Overwatch League. And yeah, my word, what a one-sided showing thus far from the Shanghai Dragons. I mean, I expected the Shanghai Dragons to be dominant, Josh, but not quite that dominant.
Yeah.
I expected the Hangzhou Spark to really put up a fight. I was anticipating that this might be one of the better games of the week.
Yeah, and I think some of it has to go towards Dora being forced onto the McCree on that second round, right? Because one of the main reasons they couldn't get to the point is because they just couldn't apply any pressure to Shanghai. They can't. You need to put damage on your opponents so that they're forced to back off. And Adora just was hitting nowhere near the same amount of shots that Lip was on the McCree mirror. So I think that's kind of part of it. But the coordination from Shanghai is just monstrous as well.
They've made a substitution, so Adora is going to be out and Godspeed's back in. And we made mention at the start of this series that Godspeed, in their match against London earlier, Godspeed was the first F quite a lot. He was getting punished quite a bit, and a big part of that was that he was Ashe going up against, I think, a Tracer and an Ashe a lot of the time. So
Yeah.
he had a big job trying to keep those two players in check when he was playing against Glister and Babel. But still, the Hangzhou Spark, all I'm saying here, Josh, what I'm trying to get to is that a DPS player having a bad day does not explain that kind of showing from the Hangzhou Spark.
No, I mean, absolutely not. And also, I think that the crux of the problem and the reason why Godspeed looked so bad is that they haven't quite realized, I think, the way that Ashe Echo interacts with the other comps that are meta right now. Because you can run Brigitte, unlike the previous 2 weeks, these kind of brawly double shield comps have come around, where you add a Torbjorn to your Ashe, or even the Tracer, and that allows you to play really tight as a bundle. Whereas the Echo always has to play kind of disconnected from the rest of their team. Let's take a look at this now, though, because Shanghai Dragons, they were moving around the right-hand side, just clearing out that area, and they have gone for the Ashe and the Torbjorn. And with this comp, they're going to just kind of bundle up. There's a lot of damage. They can poke from a distance, but they can also rush people down if they have an opportunity to. Whereas Hangzhou can't really deal with that because they're running the Echo.
Rovia, it's a difficult fight to take. A couple of trades early on, though. Look at that. Godspeed getting the better of Lip. But Fleta takes out QOQ. Arguably, the off-tank a little bit more important for that damage mitigation. So the Hangzhou Spark are being forced, position-wise, a ring around the rosies to a degree. Immortality Field also going to be used, but the Holt's going to be yoinking them forwards, and Architect's in a bit of trouble here. The Shields are going to be pushing them back for the time being, but Shanghai trying to find their opening. Still, the Amplification Matrix is going to give them a bit of a damage boost. But it looks like the Shanghai Dragons, despite that fact, are just working their way around, and they are definitely working around. Don't give him the hammer, Fleta! That is naughty. Okay.
Oh, come on. Oh, Godspeed, though, with a pick on Fleta. And now as QOQ comes back into the respawn, this is turnable. Fleta's going for the hammer kills and the disrespect instead of making sure that the point's completely locked up.
I mean, Fleta goes for the hammer kill. He might regret that, but QOQ came into the back of those respawns. Remember, he died at the start. It's the only reason he's back in here. Okay, the Gravitic Flux does connect onto QOQ, and that will put enough damage in to allow him to be removed from the rest of the fight, and that's going to be a quick cut from the Shanghai Dragons. Yeah. It really does feel like that Shanghai are able to exploit so many weaknesses in Hangzhou's play right now.
Yeah.
A little bit absurd to think. I mean, I was making claims that the Hangzhou Spark might be the second best team in Asia.
The thing is, the Shanghai Dragons can still roll the second best team in Asia. There is a large gap between them. And as they come in now, immediate pick on Godspeed. So clean. Just the ultimate usage. Shanghai's positioning. They know exactly where they want to go and the pressure that they want to put out. But Architect is really not able to do anything on this Echo. I'm not a fan of the Echo in this comp anymore. I don't think it's going to work. And look at that time bank. 452. They just push Architect out. And what is Architect supposed to do against a Torb turret and an Ashe shooting at it?
Yeah, this is the problem that was happening when Hangzhou Spark were playing against London. You know, Godspeed was on the Ashe, and he had to come up against both of the enemy DPS players by himself, because when you're running that Echo, realistically, they're not going to be keeping the other DPS in check. It's a lot on that one player's plate. And you just saw it then, when Shanghai Dragons, when they pushed into that checkpoint B, Godspeed went down as the first death once again. It was like I was re-watching the London game from last night. The same mistakes are happening here. Hangzhou Spark making the same mistakes with the compositions. falling into the same traps. It's heartbreaking because we know what this team in pink is capable of.
Yeah, and I think they will eventually develop their roster to be capable of contesting, you know, getting a map off the Shanghai Dragons.
I mean, don't even. Yeah, it's brutal to say, but I mean,
yeah.
That's
it
with
is
us
crazy.
trying to be impartial here, and I think we are being quite impartial about the entire situation that's unfolding beneath our very eyes.
Yeah,
Shanghai are just on a level above a lot of other teams right now.
I was doing an interview with Nero and Neptuno from the Guangzhou Charge, and they said that they believe that the Shanghai Dragons are even better when it comes to scrims. When they practice against Shanghai, it's like they're even better than they are in matches. So there may even be like hidden depths to the Shanghai team that we haven't experienced yet. It's monstrous the level of dominance that they've had in Asia so far. But alright, Hangzhou on the attack. And Godsby, he's capable of great heights himself.
Yeah. So Godsby gets forced onto the Widowmaker here because he realizes, okay, Lips on it. He has to try and take that jewel now. You go for the jump shot. See, he spots him. Nice! That's a little bit of confidence back. And that opening pick will allow Hangzhou a lot of space. They can start to move in a little bit more. They don't have to worry about a Widowmaker sightlines. Puts a lot of pressure on Fleder to try and get some stuff done. And his positioning has been spotted as Hangzhou start to make their moves. Now, Fleder is in the corner. Did they notice? Okay. He's starting to make his move onto them, and Fleder is going to get burnt down there by the beam. So, two great opening picks here for the Hangzhou Spark. Shanghai in a bit of a sticky scenario.
But look what Shanghai are doing, Brent. They're forcing the fight away from the point to buy time for their spawners to be able to come back. So even though the Hangzhou Spark are clearly winning this engagement, Shanghai are giving themselves opportunities to get back in. It's this great fundamental understanding. You don't want to take a fight when you're 5v6, so they force the fight elsewhere, and they're still making this scrappy and ticking off time.
They do, but the Hangzhou Spark have got so many opening picks, and a big part of this was Godsby on the Widowmaker, getting those picks off. Most notably as well onto Izayaki in the midway of that team fight. Now you see Hangzhou are going to start to roll out onto checkpoint B. They've got a lot of time to work with, and the important thing as well is if you look at the ultimates, there's a few of them are coming online. They use this amplification matrix. They might be able to build up a couple of more ultimates off the back of it.
Yeah, there's some potential here, especially if Godsby gets a pick. If they can find that opening kill as they did on point A, then this could all go the way of pink.
Okay. Shanghai going to be using the Gravitic Flux here. Void just lifts him up, brings him back down, and now you can see the Widowmaker duel is taking place. Very important. Both teams, both Widowmakers as well, have the infra sight up, so they can see each other. They know what sights to kind of avoid, and it is these mind games that go on. Nice little headshot, Lip with the 2 taps. That's all he needs. An attempt here from Architect, and he does take him out. So the 1-for-1 trade, and that gives Godsby much more space to work with. The long sight line, laying in the shots, laying in the lead from afar. Shanghai Dragons, though, have to try and take the nice accretion, cancelling Architect out of the Gravitic Flux that he built up. Wow, that is some wonderful plays by Void.
Yeah, fantastic stuff by the Shanghai Dragons to be able to hold on there. And they're going to be up to another Gravitic Flux as well. Void just puts in so much work. Just every single time that he's in the middle of a team fight, Void seems to find enormous value. And I love this positioning from Fearless as well. Holding up on the high ground here, both tanks up on the high ground. We saw this from the Guangzhou Charge too yesterday. And they're just going to be able to collapse on Hangzhou as they engage. It's probably going to be the same kind of thing. Bebe with his amplification matrix to start things off after they flush people out of this left-hand side. Oh, the Flux to engage. There's not going to be a follow-up here, really, though.
Okay, questionable as well. QQ had to play out a line of sight, so we couldn't even pump damage in with his Hyperspheres. He was scared about getting stunned out of it, and now that has given Shanghai an opening because there was no follow-up of that massive ultimate. Now, the players are still going to try and commit to this. Hangzhou going to be sending a couple of them in, but it does not matter. They've lost way too many off the back of it. Flutter's turret doing a decent chunk of damage, and they even stagger Godsby towards the end of it. Ultimates were used at the end of the day for Shanghai, so it's not the worst scenario in the world for Hangzhou, but not the start they wanted.
Certainly not. And Godsby on the Widowmaker did find Lip in the previous fight, but I'm slightly concerned, as ever, when we see a Widowmaker on attack on Volskaya, that they're just going to commit to this for too long, hoping for an opening pick, hoping for a miracle, rather than...
all the time.
Yeah, if they went on the Ashe, they might actually have a chance of pushing their Ashe and their Sigma down this left-hand side and slowly pushing out and taking control of the left-hand high ground. But instead, Godsby is just towards the back, seeing if he can get picks.
So reminiscent.
It could be amazing, but it might not work.
I mean, the amount of times we've seen this when Happy's tried to force the Widowmaker here, and even that doesn't work when Happy's one of the best Widowmakers in the world. We'll see if Godspeed can turn it around, but Architect's doing a lot of work. Nice beam as well. Lip burned down, taken out, and the Hangzhou Spark, we've got so many picks. Not many ultimates used as well. This is beautiful for them. Architect using that duplicate. He's going to be moving over onto the Sigma now just to get a bit more damage mitigation, keeping them away, the accretion pushing them back, and there you have it. 2 minutes. Hangzhou Spark finally get the capture.
Really nice individual plays from Architect. I think it was a Halt and a Sticky that found that opening kill, and then he just busts open the left-hand side completely because the whole of the rest of the Shanghai Dragons were focused on shutting down Bebe's amp matrix that was just channeling down main. Pretty good, honestly, for the Hangzhou Spark, considering how much they got rolled in map 1 and how much they tend to get outplayed when it comes to positioning and stuff. They need those big opening picks. They need a large advantage in the fight right from the beginning, it seems, whenever they play against Shanghai. And so for Architect to deliver that, hello, what's that grabbing arm doing? It's just going straight through the map. Just plunging its way through sheer metal.
Yeah, I don't know if we were supposed to see that, but there you go.
Yeah.
Moving through. Could also be a little bit of a decent carry. You got to remember as well that these teams are playing from Asia, and there might be a bit of desync there, you know, if the observer is observing from America. Bit of a ping difference. We're getting into the technicalities.
Sure. Yeah.
We're getting into the technicalities.
That's definitely the case.
That's my 2 years of programming knowledge coming into play.
I
Yeah.
think we use an Asian observing team, Brent. I don't think there's any problem there.
Yeah, actually, I think we do. I don't really know what I'm talking about, but the time ticks down, and now it's the Hangzhou's time to attack. They have 2 minutes, and
last time it was a big pick by Godspeed. Last time it was a really nice pick from Godspeed onto Lip that opened this up. So that's what they're hoping for again. It's those big picks early on. Godspeed needs to bring the magic. Godspeed or Architect, to be fair, because Architect did it on point B. Because they just cannot outplay the tank line of the Shanghai.
And Godspeed is going to be the one that needs to get these opening picks. The difference is, though, Lip is not playing the Widowmaker. He's playing the Ashe, which gives them a lot more consistent damage. But they've worked their way in roughly into this right-hand side. They're trying to find an opening, but it's difficult with the amount of damage that's being pumped into them from Shanghai. They've got so much to work with, you know. The Torbjorn and the Ashe just provide so much consistent damage. The Dynamite as well. I mean, he's already built up the Bob. Josh, he's sending it straight into the back line. It is brutal. Now the Hangzhou Spark are going to use their amplification matrix, but they don't really get too much done. However, Void will fall. It's a great start for them. Let's see if they can get anything else off the back of it. That's going to mean that Fearless is kind of left high and dry on the point. Can't find any pickoffs. In fact, he will fall. And it really feels like the Hangzhou Spark are just going to roll over them once again.
Yeah, this is a really nice play, actually. Very good execution from Hangzhou. They were careful with their engagement. They kept Gushui alive. They forced out an early immortality field. They dealt with the Bob pretty well. They basically parried and deflected everything that Shanghai threw at them and still managed to isolate and kill Void. That's a really nice performance. They need to keep that kind of momentum up. And now, with only 2 minutes left on the clock, or rather to start with 2 minutes on the clock, even taking point A is a pretty good success story for them. They need Godspeed back up though.
They really do. I mean, it was a beautiful Hulk from Fearless, and I think it was the accretion Void combination with a bunch of other damage that brought him down. Godspeed will be back, and he has the infra sight, so that's the wall hacks. They can see now through the wall, see where the enemies are. It's going to give them a big advantage now, trying to work their way into checkpoint B. And remember, this is the final fight for the Hangzhou Spark. Only 20 seconds remaining. As Yaki uses the amplification matrix, but the first pick will go the way of Gushui. Architect follows up with 2 more. Architect is playing out of his mind. The duplicate is ready and waiting, and this time he wants to have a go with the Ashe himself. Bob built up off of 1 dynamite. Are you kidding me? And it's going to be a duplicated Bob sat in the corner. He's having a merry old time right now, peppering them away from the distance. The Hangzhou Spark steamrolling it. The overtime is certainly ticking, but can the Shanghai Dragons turn this one around? They've got the Molten Core down, and Void and Fleder are available on the point. However, Fleder will fall. Now Lip is going to move over to the Doomfist to try and turn this one around. Is there no one that can touch? Surely. Finally, somebody does go down onto the point. Bebe just had to put his wee little boots on there, just so that the overtime would keep ticking, but there will be no one else. The Hangzhou Spark only managing to achieve the 90%, but I think that is still very good considering they only had 2 minutes.
an amazing performance from the Spark. Really well played, and Architect continues to be imperative in their pushes on point B. Looping around the left-hand side, getting big damage onto individual targets, and they crack that defense. They had very, very limited time to be able to break point B, and they take all of those lessons from the previous round and execute the same things that went really well for them in round 1 into round 2. 90.3% actually makes this winnable. Even though there's 4.5 minutes for the Shanghai Dragons, this map could be a win for the Spark. And that would be, I mean, I'm going to say it again, the Hangzhou Spark have not won a map against the Shanghai Dragons so far this year. They have played them twice in 2 matches, both times 3-0 stomps for Shanghai.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. But Hangzhou Spark, I mean, I certainly believe. I wanted this match to be close, and I mean, thankfully, they've heard my pleas from across the way. Is it? I mean, I was about to say across from the pond, but that's more from America to England. I don't know if they consider that from China to America.
I think the Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean's a bit larger than a pond. It's across the lake.
Yeah, but so is the Atlantic Ocean. The Atlantic Ocean is bigger than a pond as well, but we still use the same saying. Anyway, the Americans are probably very confused, but
I have never seen that jump shot before.
Yeah, that's an interesting angle. It didn't look like there was much time to even take a shot, but Godsby is going to be on the Widowmaker on the defense here. So Shanghai now going to be working, or trying to find an opening, but Godsby shuts him down straight away. And opening picks like that, you know, Godsby might not have had the best game against London. He may have had his hands full, but he's certainly showcasing why he is no slouch, and he's been one of the most consistent players this year.
He certainly has. More opening picks like that are exactly what the Hangzhou Spark needs. Shanghai not running a Tracer in this game, so he doesn't really get pressured that much. It's more the tank line of the Hangzhou Spark getting pressured by their Torb. So he's free and he needs to be producing.
Couple of hot shots, but the shields are going to block a lot of the damage. Great hold by Fearless. Pulls them more forwards, and the Hangzhou Spark, they were too far forward. They bit off too much there. Bit of a chewing hazard, and they're going to be finding that they get this capture on point A very, very easily. Look at this stagger as well. I mean, Lee J. Con, how many times do you see someone stagger an Echo? It just doesn't happen, does it?
Well, the Hangzhou Spark delayed them for about a minute, but 30 seconds will be added back to the clock. And that means that Shanghai have 3.5 minutes when they actually start their engagement. That's a lot of fights, and Shanghai are ticking up to some decent ultimates right now. They can open with an Amp Matrix and get Void's Gravitic Flux halfway through this fight. Hangzhou have got to hold on here. This is arguably the most important fight of the map.
Yeah, Shanghai are going to be going for a split approach. They've actually split their team into 2 here. One side going to be taking the left flank, the other just on the high ground on the right side of the map. You can see them trying to go in here. No one's really able to deal with Architect, but Architect's going to be using that duplicate now onto the Sigma. Nice accretion, but the peel by Void is perfect. This guy has been putting up performance after performance after performance. Gravitic Flux is going to be there. Architect, though, taken out of his own. He's not able to use his Gravitic Flux in time, but Gushue is finding so many picks now. Beautiful from the Hangzhou Spark to try and stop this one, but as I say that, Shanghai rolling forwards. How were they able to find these picks out of seemingly nowhere? Just when you think the team fight is going their way, Fleder now with the Molten Core lays it down. The consistent damage over time is going to be burning away Hangzhou when they try and recontest this one. Not a tick gained though, as of yet. Hangzhou are buying enough time, and the spawners are going to start to come in, so the Hangzhou Spark have an opportunity here. Bob,
they certainly do. Lee Jae-gon's going to go down, and the Hangzhou Spark have got a rally on the point as well, so this is their time to establish themselves.
Ultimate starting to work here, but Gushue does fall once more. I feel like the Hangzhou Spark are just trying to grapple control, and with those 2 pickoffs, Lip and Izayaki going down, QOQ rolling into the corner. That was so much damage. They finally stabilized, but not before the Shanghai Dragons get 55%.
So Shanghai split their team on the attack into 2 portions of 3. One to push people off the high ground on the left, and the others to pressure main. The issue is, Shanghai won the fight on the left, but they lost the fight in main. So all 3 players in main died to Gushue. And, you know, a combination of the other people, but Gushue got the final blows. But they took over the top left-hand side and got a load of picks over there with Fleder and Void and Lee Jae-gon. And so you get this weird, scrappy fight where both teams thought they could win. 1 tick was gained, but they need more than that, and they've dumped a load of time. There's only a minute and a half left. Honestly, a great performance from Hangzhou.
We'll see if they can keep it up, because Shanghai are coming up to a bunch of ultimates here. Fleder, confidence fall quite low, but Architect's trying to get these opening picks, but Mika will be the one to go down, and now Shanghai are rolling forward. They have the rally, but it will not stop Fleder from falling. Great pick-off here for Hangzhou. Architect going to be duplicating over to the Sigma. Gravitic Flux in hand. He's trying to get it off. He finally does, and that will be a kill, surely. He's going to try and even this one out as Void will fall. Shanghai still want to try and fight this one, though. Li Jaegong, he went for a bit of a flank, the roundabout way to go about it, but I think this fight, is it winnable? Who even knows at this point? No one was on the card. No one's on the point, Josh. Shanghai Dragons, so scrappy, so disorganized, so chaotic, but they still end up taking it.
It's so weird watching this team play. Odd. That was incredibly strange. I couldn't really tell you how the Shanghai Dragons ended up winning that fight. It seemed like Architect had done enough work. He uses his duplicate, copies the Sigma, gets a pick on Void, and even though Gushui ends up falling, it seemed like enough was done, but there just weren't bodies on the point to be able to do it. And Li Jaegong takes a flank all the way around the back. I mean, I don't quite understand what happened in that final engagement, but Shanghai... what's very clear from their attacks is that they prioritize taking high ground rather than getting early kills, and they seem to win towards the end of fights just by having better positioning.
Do you know what this Shanghai squad reminds me of? It reminds me of the San Francisco Shock from last year, when they would be 2 players down, but they would be so much better than their opponents that they would turn it into a winnable fight sometimes. Now, wasn't quite the same here, but my word, did Shanghai have to pull out some plays to try and win that one. And the flow of that fight was so strange. I mean, I'm still a little bit gobsmacked that they managed to take that one. I feel bad for the Hangzhou Spark. But we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the game break. We can talk about this a little bit further. And a continuation of the series, of course. Do not go anywhere.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. Switch today and rank up to America's largest 5G network, T-Mobile. And by State Farm. For auto, home, or renters insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back, everybody, to the game break presented by Pringles Wavy. And yet we're in the middle of the match, and it has been a quick one thus far. It feels certainly quick, Josh, between the Shanghai Dragons and the Hangzhou Spark. Shanghai leading 2-0, and it has been chaotic. It's been a little bit all over the place, and it's looked a little bit winnable for Hangzhou, but then Shanghai just win it.
Yeah, I went back and I looked at the final fight again just to figure out what had happened there, and it's actually a classic thing that Shanghai do really, really well, which you might be able to notice as we go into our next map, or maybe just whenever Shanghai play next. And it's that they use Fearless, or whoever is playing their Orisa. Sometimes it's stand 1, but most of the time I think for the future it's going to be Fearless. They use Fearless as bait. They basically put him in a very exposed position with the other players around him in high ground positions or in very safe areas. And the whole of Hangzhou were just trying to kill Fearless, and Fearless has Fortify, he has his shield to dance around, he does damage himself. And the whole time when the rest of Hangzhou were trying to kill Fearless, Lip was just pounding damage into them, got a Bob on the point, and just continued to shred the rest of Hangzhou. And Architect, as soon as he came out of the Sigma form, he's a little squishy Echo, so he couldn't really do that much. But Echo and Architect on him actually did have a large part as to why that map was so close in the first place.
Architect's individual performances were phenomenal. So Josh, for our crunch time, presented by Pringles Wavy. I'm assuming it's Pringles Wavy.
It is Pringles
Wavy. The game break was Pringles Wavy. You know, it's the crunch time, presumably. You know, they're both quite crunchy. But, you know, this is the crunchiest one because it's the crunch time presented by Pringles Wavy. Josh, what do the Hangzhou Spark need to turn around here in this series? Because they've just seemed close. They're on the tipping point, if you will. A knife's edge between seemingly being able to take some of these maps away. Yeah,
I think that what it comes down to is not over-investing. So something that Shanghai are really great at doing is taking the best positions possible in a fight, and they know when to slow things down. They don't try and rush things when they're up a pick. They don't sacrifice their positional advantage just to get a kill. They'll just slowly sit in the best positions possible and squeeze you to death. It's something that Shock are really great at as well. We're going into Junkertown, and so there is a possibility that these teams will play a bit more dive, but dive is not great on
Junkertown.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember, the Shanghai Dragons played quite a bit of dive in the May Melee on Junkertown when they were playing against the Seoul Dynasty. So we have seen moments of it. Architect could possibly pull out Genji again, but I don't think it's the best idea. I think stick with what you've been playing at the moment, but allow Architect to play a bit more of the Torb, even to try and play a mirror, because the Echo I don't think is going to be as effective on Junkertown. But mostly it just comes down to playing your fundamentals a bit better, not getting over invested.
Could even see maybe a bit of double sniper compositions coming out. We've seen some teams
sure.
Every now and then on Junkertown. It's quite infamous for it, but that's going to do it for our crunch time presented by Pringles Wavy, and also our game break presented by Pringles Wavy. And when we come back after the break, we're going to have the culmination, the finishing touches potentially of this series between the Hangzhou Spark and the Shanghai Dragons. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Pringles Wavy. Big crunch, big flavor. The Overwatch League is brought to you by HyperX. Unleash your style, unleash your fury with HyperX Fury Memory. And by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Overwatch League. And Josh, I gotta say, a big happy birthday to Elon Musk. I know he's a big Overwatch fan. He's probably watching us right now.
Probably.
So happy birthday, Elon. Keep doing all the business with the rockets and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Well, that's not how I thought this intro was going to begin. So I guess from a weird happy birthday to Elon Musk to Junkertown, because that's going to be our next month. Maybe that's like the post-apocalyptic kind of scenario, Junkertown, that we're going to be in once Elon Musk sends us to Mars and everybody leaves. And that's just what Earth is going to look like, Junkertown. Could be. We need to start reversing climate change right now, but conversation for another time, perhaps. Sure,
maybe
definitely.
not at 1:46 a.m. in the morning when we're supposed to be talking about the Overwatch match. It has been a one-sided affair, and it feels like I've been saying that a lot recently, and it's probably because I have. Shanghai Dragons seem to be in a completely another tier compared to a lot of the other teams in the Asian region. It is absurd how well they're able to spot weaknesses in teams in the middle of team fights. And now we're going to see, can the Hangzhou Spark stop the bleeding? Can they take a map away from Shanghai Dragons, something they've been incapable of this entire year? Yeah.
I'd like to talk meta just for a moment here, Bren, because
Sure.
When we've seen the last 2 weeks of play, it's been mostly poke. We haven't seen any Brig because she wasn't in. And so we saw backlines of Batiste and Zen and the Tracer and the Ashe. And the idea there just being that you want to poke down your opponents and the Tracer goes into their backlines and you cause a lot of chaos. Now, what we've actually seen with Brig back in the lineup is this Torbjorn being added. And Fled has been playing a lot of Torb so far. I don't know what the counter to this is. I don't know whether there is a counter to this. What do you do if you're the Hangzhou Spark? I was just trying to think about this in the break. Architect on the Echo isn't finding that much value. It worked to some extent on Volskaya, but I don't think it's going to be as good here because it's more open. You're going to get shot by the turret, you're going to get shot by Fleder, you're going to get shot by Lin. If you run the Tracer, you're running Tracer into a Torb as well, which is very difficult. So maybe some kind of May, but even May isn't that good on Junkertown. So I don't really know what strategically the answer is if Shanghai continue with this Ashe Torbjorn composition. It's very difficult to find a counter comp, and they will bully your tank line if you just try and poke them. I feel like the only way that Hangzhou can win this map is if Godspeed just goes bonkers on the Widowmaker.
Yeah, just finds opening picks after opening picks. It's a tough one for Hangzhou because they seem to be getting outclassed in terms of their individual tactics on a basic fundamental level. It's something that it's very difficult, in fact, to fix over the course of the series. We rarely see it happen.
Okay, this is interesting though. The Shanghai Dragons were thinking about running double sniper here, but now Fleder's gone over to mirror the Tracer. So instead of going for that brawl comp with the Torbjorn, because things are a little more open, they want the Tracer to be able to go into backlines and take these long flanks. And both teams are opting for the double spam backline too. Just because you can't get close to your opponents as quickly in Brawl, I assume.
Oh my goodness, Lip finding head somewhere, somehow. He has a location. Oh, what is that? Are you kidding me? Okay, a little bit of a harassment coming out as well, but oh, wow, after those pickoffs, you got to be feeling bad.
What on earth was that?
Those kind of shots are just... I mean, you don't see those often. I'm telling you now, to predict the trajectory, to flick like that, I mean, this guy's got to be on something ever. I don't know what it is. He's crazy. He's crazy.
Yeah, that really is crazy. I thought that this team comp matchup seems winnable for Hangzhou. Even though Architect isn't naturally a Tracer player, we've seen him actually do pretty well in the last couple of weeks on Tracer. And Godspeed's a phenomenal Widow, but they get blasted on point A.
Yep. You can see Lip now taking some aggressive angle stand in the lower sections of Junkertown, though, but they've already opened up point A, I should say. So 5 minutes to work with here. The card is, realistically, it's only just begun, but the team fight from Shanghai has been so good thus far. You can see that Architect goes for the pulse bomb, but Godspeed wins the 1v1, and that is a key moment, potentially a big turning point in this fight. Ultimate's still going to be expended here, but Shanghai looking to see if they can turn this fight around. And they do get the pick onto Architect, surprisingly. What was looking like an unturnable fight suddenly might be in their favor as well, but that Gravitic Flux is so huge. The support line taken out, Josh.
Yeah, and Fleta, having won the 1v1 against Architect, now has free reign to do whatever he likes. So he comes and helps with the tank battle that's going on, finishes off all of that damage that Void was able to do, and Lip pops us in for a sight. Godspeed probably going to respond with his own once his team gets in a position to be able to attack and attempt to defend this point B. All of the space, though. Oh, Godspeed. Destroyed by Fleta.
I mean, he has the Infrasight, so I don't know why Architect is walking into him there, but he gets taken out. Void
so
aggressive.
Brett, they have not even had an opportunity to defend point B. I'm just getting flashbacks from Oasis.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd that they're managing to do this. I can't help but laugh. It's just absurd. This is the Hangzhou Spark. This is the team that we're expecting to be one of the contenders to Shanghai, one of the contenders for that top spot in the APAC region. 5 minutes, and the cart does not stop moving here. Gravitic Flux is used. QOQ does get the pick off onto Void here, but knowing Shanghai, somehow they'll find a pick out of nowhere. Okay, Lip was... That's a little bit too oblivious to what was going on there. Big burly Danish man, is Sigma from Denmark? I don't even know. But
I think he is,
QOQ
right? No, sorry, he's from the Netherlands. He's
Netherlands!
Dutch.
He's Dutch, yes.
Dutch, not Danish.
Fleta! Okay, getting away with murder here, and he's got a pause bomb. Don't do it to him, Fleta. Don't do it to him. Blinks, the Immortality Field. It's gone. It's out of there. He's still got it, by the way. I'm just going to remind you, look at the aggression that's coming out from Shanghai. No reset opportunities here whatsoever. The zipping, the zooping, the blinks, backwards, forwards. He's breaking ankles, and Shanghai, I just want to remind you all, this cart has not stopped moving.
I truly believe the only team that's been on this level is the San Francisco Shock. I mean, you watch the Shanghai Dragons play like this, and they just put so much pressure on their opponents. Everybody's so good. It's a superstar team with amazing coordination. Oh, God.
Pulseport forces out a Transcendence. I mean, yeah, Bebe has to use the Transcendence, otherwise they were going to get snowballed. He had to use it there. Amplification Matrix is going to force out the positioning of Shanghai. It's going to give them a moment of respite, but for how much longer is the question. Now, Void does fall. That's a great opening. See if they can pressure them, maybe take it a little bit further, but the trouble is Hangzhou have been punished before when they've overstepped their bounds. They are going to push them back, so finally, a moment to reset, a moment to breathe. The Hangzhou Spark now got to reassess how to take in this next fight. Except
this is not going to be a very long moment to breathe, because Shanghai are coming in with double support ultimate, and they've got Fearless's supercharger.
No.
And if Fleta can manage to find this sneaky angle and kill Godspeed, it's all over, man.
He doesn't know! He doesn't know! The one clip, no! It's not quite, but it doesn't matter. The killer comes through. Recall finally going to be used here. Fleta has to use 2 blinks, but he's out of cooldowns, but his team is there to peel for him. They do defend him. And now with that opening pick-off, they can take much more aggressive angles. You can see them trying to punish QOQ off into the sidelines here.
That's huge, though. Bebe managing to take down Fearless while he used his supercharger. A small lapse in the shield, and Bebe takes advantage of it. That's huge. That's given Hangzhou a bit of an opportunity, but now they've traded Mayhem.
Oh, no! Lip with 2 kills back to back. It's going to be on Godspeed to try and make something happen. Godspeed and Architect, dynamic duo. A nice post bomb from him. Brings down Izayaki, takes him out of the fight. It's going to be the clean tracking. Means it's going to be forcing out this Immortality Field, but it will be a team fight won, thankfully, from the Hangzhou Sparks DPS players.
Huge plays. Huge plays, especially from Architect to be able to save that. But a nice opening salvo by Bebe as well. I really want to highlight that, because if Fearless had stayed alive, I think that fight definitely goes the way of Shanghai. And now only 2 minutes left, so and the ult situation has flipped in favor of the Hangzhou Spark. They won the difficult team fight, and now they're looking fairly decent.
Hey, Lamau. Yeah, QOQ immediately getting bullied off the high ground is a real bad feeling, you know. It's a struggle.
I have no idea what the actual voice line is, by the way. It just sounds like Sigma's saying "Hey Lamau." I can't help but repeat it whenever he does. Godspeed, though, finding that.
You truly are a bit of a boomer with the memes,
I really
Josh.
am.
I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever told you this, but you you're repeating memes from like 2 years ago, maybe even longer. It's so out. Anyway, regardless, Godspeed got the pick off. But look at this, Shanghai is still trying to apply pressure, still trying to take the high ground away.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that Godspeed found an opening pick. And
they're always doing something in the team fight. They may not be trying to win it, but they're always trying to take positioning away from their opponents. There's always some aim, even if they're one down.
But a minute left means that this is a winnable scenario now for Hangzhou, and we may be one step closer to them winning their first map against the Shanghai Dragons. But as I say that, Mika goes down. There's going to be a lot of ultimates used there to try and set that one up. Evened out though, which is a good start. Fearless though, finding it onto QOQ means that more off tank. Shanghai can start to press a little bit further, really squeeze the Hangzhou Spark into a difficult scenario. The cart moves forwards and only 26 seconds remaining. Look at this, Fleder diving into the backline, hunting for an opportunity. That Discord orb placed gently onto Fearless. Well, not Fearless, I should say Gushue. Nice post bomb though from Fleder, whips it around. He's going to find an opening pick-off. Still anyone's game as it's traded out 1 for 1, pound for pound, flesh for flesh, but not finding really too much more. Godspeed's got to go huge here, but he gets brought down as well. Fleder still, no one handling him, keeping everybody in check. The respawns though are starting to come in, and a huge sleep dart from Bebe. That might just be enough to try and stop this one, to try and put the Shanghai Dragons in their place. We'll find out soon enough though. The fight continues. Infrasight from Godspeed is going to be used here to give them a bit of an extra advantage, a bit of a boon in the battle. Architect still causing havoc though, still needs to try and get this pick up, but the heals are too good, Josh. The heals are too good.
Izayaki used his Transcendence in the middle of that fight and still nothing is dealt with Fleder. And they continue to win. Fleder was slept in the middle of that fight, but they didn't have enough people to allocate resources to actually killing him. So instead, he wakes up, he recalls, and he just gets straight back to just slanging metal into his opponents.
I don't know what to say to this.
Shanghai
really
puts so much pressure on all fronts. Like Lip just comes in the middle of that fight and headshots the enemy Ana, and then you've got Izayaki just building up his Transcendence in the middle of that as well, just to heal Fearless, who looked like he was about to go down. It's crazy.
There's going to be people listening at home who probably think that we're coming off as maybe a little bit disingenuous as to the way this game is going if you're just looking at the scoreline. But I mean, Josh, I've been watching Overwatch for what, 4 years now, if not more. This is absurd. Shanghai are winning fights that they have no right to win. They're finding opportunities they should not be winning, theoretically, based off of the pickoffs that they're getting at the start of these fights. And the fact that the Hangzhou Spark are really just doing a number on them. Architect and Godspeed are performing exceptionally well. The difference is the Shanghai Dragons are just that little bit more coordinated, and that little bit puts them over the edge when they're playing so hard and so fast and so aggressive. It's a treat to watch, honestly, if you like high-level Overwatch, because the Shanghai are putting on a masterclass.
It absolutely is. I mean, the Hangzhou Spark are a team full of great players, but they're new. They haven't quite gelled with that team synergy. What makes the Dragons so scary is that they're arguably better pound for pound, and they've got so much team synergy and coordination. That kill, Lip onto Architect right at the beginning, that's huge. That's not bad. And it's just going to slow people down.
That's so interesting to me. Architect, they had the double sniper, which means that Lip's getting really pressured quite hard. But Architect gives it up. He decides to go onto the Tracer instead, I suppose, to try and
you just can't give Fleder that much room. Like, if they play double sniper, Fleder's just going to be in their backlines, tearing them to pieces. So I think this is just pure respect.
Hangzhou working the left flank now, trying to find an opening here. You can see, look at this in the backline. Fleder is just doing so much damage to them. The recall back, regroup with the rest of his team, waiting for those cooldowns. QQ eating a ton of damage here. And it just feels like there's not really much coordination, whereas Shanghai are trying to follow up on every halt, on every single cooldown being used. The Hangzhou Spark are missing them every now and then, and that's been one of the small differences. Oh my goodness, Izayaki just pre-fires the corner, takes him out. Lip with the headshot onto Mika as well. Hangzhou Spark losing 2 players, and then 2 just quickly turns into 5. It is a little bit ridiculous.
Perhaps it shouldn't surprise me how good Fleder's Tracer is, but Tracer is normally a hero that requires a specialist to play. It requires a lot of time.
Very high skill cap.
Yeah, insanely high skill cap hero. But Fleder this year has ascended to another level. We always knew that this guy had potential, and he would show glimpses of it on his prior teams. But on the Shanghai Dragons, he seems like he can just literally play every single hero and be the best.
It's kind of what we expected from Spider when he was playing for the Seoul Dynasty.
Yeah, but he never quite lived up to it.
Yeah, and now it's... I mean, we're seeing it firsthand here. Yeah. Architect falls. There's Yaki traded, though. He was caught out of position there on the left flank, as you can see. Oh, they're just waddling into the amplification matrix. I mean, it's brutal to watch. Hangzhou Spark committing ultimates, though. They want to try and win this fight out. Gravitic Flux, Transcendence, everything's used, but they're finding pickoffs. QOQ finally with 2. The Gravitic Flux is huge, and Godsby with a follow-up. This is what they needed. Flutterdo still, whenever he's alive, whenever he's on the map, it's a problem, but Godsby, not a problem for him. Nice headshot. That is stylish. Puts an end to his reign of terror.
I said at the beginning of this map that Godsby, I think, would just have to go huge, and he finds some crucial picks there along with QOQ. This new off-tank pickup for the Hangzhou Spark coming out huge. Really nice play. Here it is, the replay as well of what QOQ was able to get done.
And a big part of this was because Izayaki died at the start of the fight. There was no Transcendence to try and counteract this Gravitic Flux or to try and help them in the fight.
Yeah.
Him getting picked off early was really big.
They'd already forced out the Immortality field as well, which is another huge part. Architect, nice pulse bomb. That's going to open things up. Izayaki going down again means, again, no Transcendence to be able to save people. So they can just try and push this one forwards.
That's actually a huge pickoff, considering Shanghai are on the defense.
But look, they take control of the high ground, even when they're 5v6. And Shanghai Dragons, even though they're 5v6, have better positioning. And they're not giving it up, they're not backing off.
It's crazy.
They're holding on to it.
It's crazy that the only cart pressure they've got is Architect, because he's the only one who can get out alive. On the Tracer, QQ's trapped in the corner! Oh my goodness! They've got him stuck in between, all over the place, it's chaos! And he eventually is brought down. I can't believe that. That was so high level, they body blocked him into the corridor. And then they brought him out, they took him out. They bought enough time to take out the Immortality field. I have never seen that.
It's absurd. I mean, that's just monstrous, really, isn't it? Lip, wow, Fleta with the peel comes and helps Lip immediately. Lip was so weak, but Architect couldn't quite find the kill. And it's the absolute domination of the high ground and the best positioning possible. That's what impresses me every time I see Shanghai. They never let go of the high ground without a fight.
Hangzhou going to try and turn it around, though, you can see. Oh, that's a great pickoff for the Shanghai Dragons. What was looking okay for the Hangzhou Spark, but you got to remember they had this infrasight. Ooh, Architect getting the better of him. Pulse bomb though from Fleta will even it out, and yeah, even if the Hangzhou Spark get these pickoffs, it just feels like the Shanghai Dragons are able to equate it into twice as many, if not 3 times as many, just instantly off the back of it.
And I think here they either need a big pick from Godsby, which is difficult to get because your Widowmaker doesn't really have any positions that they can take, or they need Architect to cause a massive distraction in the backline. If he can win his 1v1 against Fleta, and I don't mean kill Fleta, but just push him away and cause a distraction in the backline, that might allow Spark to take the high ground. Godsby has infrasight here, so they have to be a little careful.
Architect. He falls early. Fleta though traded. Could still be winnable here for Hangzhou. Hangzhou committing ultimates. They've used the supercharger, but they're going to get fluxed into the air. Transcendence going to be used by Bebe, but not enough to stop QOQ from dying. They actually burst through the healing there. I think that was Lee Jae-gong's amplification matrix giving them the damage necessary to win that one out. And like I said, Josh, despite the fact that the Hangzhou Spark are finding a pickoff, it doesn't matter. Shanghai get 2 more straight away, trading it out.
Yeah, Izayaki's fallen once again, which might give QOQ a bit of an opportunity with his flux.
Yeah, if they go fast here.
Yeah, they really need to go fast, but Bebe and Mika were both dead as well at kind of the same time as Izayaki. Oh, and Izayaki comes straight off. Izayaki is winning 1v1s against Fleta and Lip, winning 1v1s against Architect and Godsby all over the place.
Yeah, that was him coming back into the fight now. That is going to go down, but of course Izayaki back in the fight using that Transcendence to keep his team alive. And still does high ground control. Look at them. No one is taking them away from it. Fearless has complete control, and finally he only dives down when he knows that the team fight is almost already won. They just surround, they divide, and they conquer, it feels like.
No one can
it's a showcase of just the mastery of everything. I mean, I hate to meme around and talk about the art of war, but high ground is important in the art of war. You know, if you listen to Sun Tzu, he does go on and on and on about it. The Shanghai Dragons seemingly have just a grasp on how to win every single team fight here. And Izayaki, he gets another pick off onto Architect. The two damage-dealing players of the Hangzhou Spark, the two players who are supposed to be evening it out, not able to do so. And the Shanghai Dragons finding so many pickoffs, so one-sided in their affair, in their conquest of this map, of this series. They will not allow the Hangzhou Spark to claim even a single map against them. A last-ditch effort coming out here from Architect, but he will not be able to touch. And that is going to be a 3-0 from the Shanghai Dragons. It's
unbelievable levels of domination. And the weirdest thing, Brent, is that you watch these games and there's a sense of hopelessness. There's a sense of inevitability about the Shanghai Dragons winning. You can tell that they are fundamentally a better team than their opponents. And it's not like the Hangzhou Spark are bad. I mean, sure, they did lose to the London Spitfire yesterday, and I don't think they're playing their best right now, but the Shanghai Dragons have crushed the Spark every single time they've gone up against them. That's 3 times so far in 2020 that they have 3-0'd. It's the triple 3-0.
Ridiculous. Lip is going to be our player of the match, of course, and this series, I just want to point out that it is... it's been 1 hour and 6 minutes since we began casting, Josh. I mean, it feels like I'm kind of trying to reflect on the cast we've just done, because I feel like, are we being a little bit too harsh for Hangzhou? But no, this was a beating, truly. Yeah. I mean, the Shanghai Dragons are on another plane of existence.
Yeah, they are.
Ridiculous.
And I think that's a really important point as well. Like, even when you talk to the second best team in Asia, whoever that is at whatever time you're talking to them, they are getting slaughtered by the Shanghai Dragons, generally speaking.
Okay, but people are going to refer back to, of course, the fact that the Shanghai Dragons got taken to 5 maps against Chengdu recently. But you got to remember as well, the Shanghai Dragons are running
they're running a different lineup. They're running Geggery and DM for the first 2 maps, and then the reverse sweeped with relative ease. So, I mean, when Shanghai are running their main lineup, this lineup that we saw tonight, I believe, I keep repeating this fact, and I think it's true, they've only lost 1 map in 2020 with this lineup.
Crazy.
So
absolutely crazy.
It's unreal levels of dominance. It is similar to if you think back to last year when the San Francisco Shock was dominating in stage 2 and they didn't drop a map the entire time. They had that absolute perfect golden stage. It's not quite at that level, but it's similar.
Well, that's going to do it for match 1 of the evening, but the fun doesn't stop there. I mean, I guess it's fun if you're a Shanghai fan, if you're a Hangzhou fan, not so much. But the action is going to be brought to you, of course, by Wolf and Achilleos. They're going to be bringing you all the fun. The next matchup, I believe, is the Chengdu Hunters versus the Seoul Dynasty. So do not go anywhere. When we come back from the break, we're going to have that one prepared and ready for you. We hope you enjoy it, but that's going to do it for us for the night. But do not go anywhere, as I said before. Way more Overwatch coming up after the break. We'll see you soon.